Hi, Rabbi, we are continuing Mesillas Hashem in Parak Dalit in Mesillas Yesharim. Parak Dalit Mesillas Yesharim. So just to reorient ourselves just for a moment. Just for a moment. So you can remember again, the Ramchal introduced us in this parak to three different types of yira. Three different types of yira, right? Remember again, let's quick chazara. What was number one? Number one? That was number two. Actually, number 2A. What was number one? Yiras ha'onesh. Right? What was Yiras ha'onesh? Fear of punishment. Most elementary level of yira. I don't want to get patched in this world, in the next world, and therefore, again, I'll keep myself in order because, again, I don't want to get punished. I will say the next level up from that was Yiras haromimos. What was Yiras haromimos? A recognition of the greatness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And then on Friday, the Ramchal introduced us to, as Greg just mentioned before, Yiras ha'chet. And I will say now, what's Yiras ha'chet? What's Yiras ha'chet? Yiras ha'chet, interestingly enough, is a general, almost like fear. I don't even like to use the word fear, like a consciousness of my actions. I'm constantly aware of the way that I'm living and what I'm performing to make sure that there are no elements of chet, no elements of sin mixed into my behaviors. So I'm constantly thinking before I act, after I act, while I act, about what I'm doing, the way I'm speaking, the way I'm acting. Is there any element of chet that is laced into these behaviors? And I'm vigilant to make sure that there is none of that there. That's Yiras ha'chet. So now the Ramchal says as follows. I'm actually going to start one line before today's assignment. He says, V'hincha ro'a yachas hagadol shebein yirazu v'yiras harom moshe zacharnu. So we'll say obviously that there is a connection between Yiras ha'chet and Yiras haromimos. Ki atachlis b'shneim, because the tachlis, the purpose of both of them, shalasos davar neged rum kvoda yizbarach. Obviously, the goal is not to transgress the Devar Hashem, right? So we'll say, as opposed to Yiras ha'onesh, where the entire purpose of onesh, right? What's Yiras ha'onesh? What is Yiras ha'onesh? Yiras ha'onesh is, I don't want to get punished. That's it. That's the sum total of it. I just don't want to get punished. Yiras haromimos and Yiras ha'chet are much more sophisticated. Here, I have an appreciation and a God awareness. I recognize that I exist within the purview of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and I want to make sure that my behaviors are not offensive to the Ribbon Shalom. Yiras ha'chet, I want to make sure that my actions are beyond reproach. So look at it. Andam ha'hevdel b'shneim. So we'll say the Ramchal says there's a profound difference between them. What's the profound difference? Sheba'avuro techashev kimin achar u'b'shem achar tikarei. Listen to this. Ki Yiras haromimos hu b'shas ha'maisa. O b'shas ha'avoda, o b'parak ha'avera. Dahainu, so let's listen to this. Yiras haromimos, which is this recognition of the awesomeness of Hashem, applies dafka, what he calls b'shas maisa, at the time of action. Either again, the time when I'm actually doing something, the time when I'm serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, or the time when I'm committing an avera. Dahainu, o b'shas shu omed u'mispalel, o oved, Sha'az yevosh v'yikalem v'yirash v'yirad mipnei rum kivoda yizbarach. So we'll say, listen to this. Yiras haromimos is actional. In other words, when is it triggered? It's often triggered in actional moments. Specifically when? Specifically, we'll say, here we go. I'm about to do a mitzvah, Baruch Hashem, right? I'm about to do a mitzvah, whatever, you fill in the blank. And then at the time of the mitzvah, what's the thought that suddenly flashes in my mind? What's the thought? Who am I performing this mitzvah in the presence of? The Ribbon Shalom. And therefore we'll say, what does that awareness trigger? What does that awareness trigger? A much more profound performance. So now suddenly, I'm not going to be lackadaisical in my performance. I'm not going to be mediocre in my performance because I am performing this mitzvah, this avoda, in the presence of the Ribbon Shalom. And I want it to be clear that this is being performed in his presence. So Yiras haromimos is triggered actionally, in a moment of action. Conversely, obisha shemiz damenes avera lefanavu makiba shiavera shiazam ilasoso. So let's listen to this. Conversely, when else is it actionally triggered? I'm about to sin. I'm about to commit an avera. And in that moment that I'm about to commit an avera, what thought is triggered in my mind? What thought? Who am I about to commit this avera in the presence of? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And both say that awareness saves me from going and committing the avera. Why both say? Because the truth is, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is right here with me. I don't want, it's not the pshat that like I've conquered my yetzer to do the Aveira. I still want to do the Aveira. But I know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is right here with me, and so I'm embarrassed to do that Aveira in the presence of the Ribono Shalom. The man asher lo yaseh davar, lamros enei kvodo chas v'chalila. Shabbos said, this is very interesting. So therefore, what's fascinating about this is as follows. So Yiras Haromimus, a recognition of the greatness of God, is really actionally focused. At a time when I'm doing a mitzvah, so that Yiras Haromimus changes the way I perform the mitzvah, because now that I know that I'm in the presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm going to perform the mitzvah in a different way. Or, I'm about to commit an Aveira, Yiras Haromimus says, I can't do this. I I live in the presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How do I contrast that? Yiras HaChet, Rabbi say Yiras HaChet. Again, remember, what's Yiras HaChet? Yiras HaChet, Rabbi say, is an analysis of how I'm living. An actual analysis of everything that I do. Listen to this, B'chol Eisa B'chol Shah. Rabbi say Yiras HaChet, which again, Rabbi say, doesn't mean fear of sin. Yiras HaChet means that I examine my actions to make sure that they are free from sin. When does that actional analysis occur? This is incredible. Shnei b'chol rega hu yarei pen yikashav v'yaseh davar ochatzi davar sheyeh neged kvodo yisbarach shmo yisbarach. The alkain. So Rabbi say, listen to this. When does Yiras HaChet, Rabbi say, occur? This is actually incredible. When does Yiras HaChet occur? When does it occur? Rabbi say it occurs always. It occurs always. It's absolutely incredible, right? It absolutely occurs always, because I will say, at all times, I'm constantly looking and examining my actions. He goes on, he says, I'm constantly aware of my actions, and I don't want my actions to have any element of anything that is contrary to the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'alkin nikres yiras chet, ki ikara yira menachet shlo ikanis v'yis'ari b'masa machmas pshia v'srashlus o machmas helem ye'ezeh davar shiyer. Be'ezeh davar shiyer. We'll say, listen to this idea. The Ramchal is saying over here, Yiras HaChet means a level of actional refinement. That I want to make sure, say that, right, you ever have a situation like this? I'll tell you where this comes out from me all the time. You're talking with someone, and you say something. And you think, what do you think afterwards to yourself? Why did I say that? I didn't need to say that. Right? Sometimes it's like a smart aleck, crack that you make. Like, I didn't need to say that. I didn't need to make that joke. I didn't need to make that sarcastic or something. I didn't need to make it. So I was like, now was it an Aveira? No. But that's Yiras HaChet. Yiras HaChet is a person who's just always looking at what they're doing and just trying to figure out, is it refined enough? So therefore, I will say, which is incredible. So whereas Yiras Haromimus is triggered by specific actions. When I'm about to do a mitzvah, when I'm about to do an Aveira. So I'm about to do a mitzvah, Yiras Haromimus says, you're about to do a mitzvah before the Ribono Shel Olam, make it good. Or I'm about to commit an Aveira, I say I'm in the presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I can't do it. Yiras HaChet is an ongoing, rolling process, where everything I'm doing, right, the way I talk and just the way I act throughout the day, I'm constantly trying to put that under a lens and ask myself, should I talk this way? Should I act? Not sinful, nothing to do with sin. That's just an ongoing problem. This sounds a lot like what that we learned before. It sounds like a lot like what? Zehiros. Excellent. Sounds a lot like Zehiros, which I will say, it's not an accident, because the truth is, everything in life stems from Zehiros. That's really what it is. This awareness in life, this ongoing awareness. Here, he's still at a different level of awareness. He goes on, V'hinei, al zeh ne'emar, about this it is said, Ashrei adam mefachei tamid. Praiseworthy is the person who is always afraid. And I will say, sounds like such a depressing pasuk. A person should always be afraid. So I will say, sometimes pachad doesn't have to mean, cowering in the corner. Pachad also just means an awareness. Right? Praiseworthy is the person who is nervous about acting in an inappropriate way. In other words, I'm living life with a constant vigilance and awareness about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Pen tamun bu l'raglav v'lo nishmar. So I will say, what's the greatest danger? The greatest danger often is just kind of getting habituated in life, becoming a creature of habit. And as a result, I talk a certain way, I behave a certain way, and I don't really ever stop to think, is this the right way to go about things? Sa'ashrei adam mefachi tamid, praiseworthy is the person who hits the pause button and just thinks about things as they're unfolding. Val Yira is what we're going to finish up. Val Yira zos Amar Moshe Rabbeinu alav shalom ba'avur tia yirasa pnechem levilti techato ki ze ikra yira shia adam yorei umizdazea tamid ad shelo taser yira zu mimenu ki ayidei zeh vadai lo yavo lidei chet vim yavo. So now listen to what the Ramchal is saying, and this is really incredibly profound. So therefore, again, this whole idea of yiras chet, says the Ramchal, this whole idea of yiras chet is at the end of the day, an awareness. Just an awareness. I want to make sure that the way I behave, I want to make sure that the way I conduct myself is appropriate, is good. And I want to live life with a constant vigilance and awareness about the way I'm conducting myself. Because if I am proactively aware, then I could essentially prevent chait from occurring, missteps from occurring. So Rabbi say, if we just bring this together, it turns out, so now we understand the three levels, right? The three levels. Level one, yiras ha'onesh, which is, Rabbi say, we all start there, right? We all start there. At the end of the day, why does the child listen to his parents when he's a little boy? Why does the little boy listen to his parents? He doesn't want to get patched. Right? He doesn't want to get patched. He doesn't want to, okay, that's how we all start out. But the goal ultimately is to graduate from that. Level up from that. Yiras haromimos. Yiras haromimos, recognition of the awesomeness of God. But I will say, when is Yiras haromimos triggered? When is it triggered? Dafka in moments of mitzvos and averos. I'm about to do a mitzvah. I'm doing a mitzvah in the presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I better make it good. I better make it good because it's in the presence of God. I'm about to do an avera. How could I commit an avera if at the end of the day I'm in the presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? And then there's yiras chet. I will say, what's yiras chet? Yiras chet is just an ongoing heightened sense of awareness and vigilance about the way I live. And just to constantly analyze again what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, to make sure that it's appropriate. I will say, when does yiras chet occur? When does yiras chet occur? All the time. All the time. I will say it sounds like a very tall order, but imagine if we can get to that level of yiras chet, where literally I'm analyzing, analyzing again, the way I speak, the way I act, every moment, every day. Imagine how much tsar and how much chet we'd save ourselves. We'll say shkoyach. We'll stop over here for today. Incredible start to the week. All right, Chevron Zoom. Have a great day, everyone.